Now the question of the audiovisual. Question 1. Your audiovisual is based on theory from the book and the lectures. Mention 5 theoretical aspects that you used in your audiovisual and explain them briefly. The first one we used is the culture shock. The two companies of the two different countries are going to work together. To avoid a culture shock, they explain something about the country and about people in the country, so they can work together without some miscommunications. The second thing we avoid is stereotyping. We didn't want to stereotype because stereotyping is a bit of a wrong vision of a country, and we try to avoid that and only say things that are true about the country. The third thing is low context. In Mexico, they communicate low context. They say things directly, and the fourth thing is hierarchy. Muriel told about the hierarchy in China, that there is a boss, and everyone under that boss is really an employee, not a colleague, but really an employee. And 5, we also use the we culture. In Mexico, they really have a we culture. If a nephew of the boss wants to work in that company, they hire him because it's the nephew of the boss.
Well, question 2 is, what's the goal of your audiovisual? What's the message you wanted to get across? The purpose of our audiovisual is to show that when a merger occurs between two companies from different countries, it is important to know what the values of the other company and country is. This audiovisual was about the Mexican and Chinese culture. The manager of Dell in Mexico had to learn the values of the manager of HP in China, and vice versa. In this way they could understand each other better and they could work better together. It's not a merger of two companies, because you have to deal, it's not just a merger of two companies, because you have to deal with two totally different cultures with their own values.
Question number 3. Which target group did you have in mind, and why is the message relevant to them? Our target group were students, students of the communication study. We had the message that the students would learn about culturally awareness, more sensitive to cultures, and more skillful in intercultural communication. Students have to learn how they are going to react on different kinds of cultures, and this message that we get across in our audiovisual is relevant to them.
Question 4, have you achieved your goal? Yes, I think we definitely achieved our goal with this audiovisual. We clearly show that the managers of both countries should know the values of the other country. In this way they could work better together in the new company. We used visual aids to show the manager which culture is involved. In the audiovisual we first show a short introduction about the other country. Then with the aid of a PowerPoint sheet we show the most important differences between the cultures. These differences are also explained. In this way the message of our audiovisual is very clear to the target group, so I think we definitely have reached our goal.
Question 5. From your audiovisual, which examples illustrate your goal message the best, and why those? There are a few examples that illustrate our goal the best. The first is the bosses who tell their managers that they have to cooperate with HP in another country. The bosses tell their managers that the other manager has another way of life and another culture. And they tell their managers that they have to pay attention to that different culture. and that they need to respect that other culture to work together in harmony. I think this illustrates our goal the most because we want to work together and then we have to know something about the other culture. This is a very good way to inform your managers when they have to meet someone from another culture. Another example was the introduction of the other culture with a short film. When you use this kind of digital media to inform your managers, we think it will work. There is music and there are nice pictures of the other country. I think the managers will get a good idea of the other culture when they see that. Question 6. What would you do differently if you had to do the assignment again? I think we did it quite well this time. We were not stereotyping and we explained the other culture on a professional way, like a kind of business meeting. The set was also very businesslike. We wanted to cooperate with another country, Mexico versus China. The business was computer brand HP. The idea was that the managers of each country would talk together how they want to work and how they need to inform their employees with the other culture. It was very businesslike and we are proud of the results.